Hi, it's John from the home recording studio, and today I want to introduce to you my new sample pack lo-fi keys. In this video I'm going to give you a walkthrough of the sample pack, and I'm going to show you some suggested ways how to use the samples and to put together a lo-fi music track. But before we get into that, if you could just take the time to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It really helps my videos show up in the YouTube search engine and it can find others just like you. So thank you for that, and now let's get into the video. Okay, welcome to this demo of the Lo-Fi Keys sample and MIDI pack. Now when you download the zip files, you actually get 3 different folders. Once you've unzipped them, you get one folder full of MIDI files, and you get one with the Lo-Fi Keys samples in it. If you've bought the premium pack, you also get a folder with the warped Lo-Fi Keys samples as well. And these samples have been put through various hardware effects, such as a Tascam 424 Porta Studio, and a Casio SK1, and a reel-to-reel tape recorder, some of them as well. So these are really fun to play with, but that's basically the files that you will get with it. So just looking in Logic quickly, I do have my own template already set up, and this is a template I use for lo-fi hip-hop. And let's start with the lo-fi keys. So like I say, you can either bring these files in as MIDI or you can bring them in as samples. So all the files are labelled with the tempo. We're mainly working between about 74, 75 beats per minute and going up to about 90 beats per minute. Let's try some of these at random. Yeah, I like that one. That one's called Hazy. It's in G minor 7th, as you can see here, and it's 80 beats per minute. Let's drag it in to an empty space in Logic, and it's asking me if I want to import the tempo information that's with the file. I don't, because I want to keep my project at 76 beats per minute, so click Don't Import. But what you're going to have to do now is time stretch. So in Logic, there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can either right click and apply project tempo to region, which is usually found in the tempo menu. So you can either do that, apply project tempo to region, or you can use the warp tool, and you do that by holding your cursor at the end of the region, holding down the Option key or Alt, and clicking and dragging until it snaps to the end of that bar. And now it should be at tempo. Let's turn it down a bit. Loop it a few times just so we've got a starting point, and then I'm going to turn those loops into regions, so convert loops to regions. Next, bring in the MIDI, because even though I'm going to use the audio loops, I might use the MIDI for other things. So let's go back to Finder and have a look in the MIDI files folder, and this one was called Hazy. So I'll bring that in to just to a blank track. At the moment, you don't have to change the tempo of that one because it will just conform to whatever tempo you have in your session. At the moment, that's just come in with a stock Logic sound, which is the Studio Grand. We'll just have a listen to that anyway, see what it's like. So you could either bring this down to one of my other piano tracks here. So the piano that I have in my lo-fi hip-hop template is the Lecco. Yeah, this is by Felt Instruments, so it's called Lecco. So it's a nice soft felt piano. We'll leave that in there for now. So again, I'll just loop that. So next thing I want to do is add a drum loop, and for this I'm going to be using a sample pack which I'm working on currently to be released soon, called Lo-Fi Drums, and I've loaded those samples into Loop Cloud. The advantage of using a sample manager like this is that it will conform your sample to whatever tempo you're working in. So if I start Logic in playback mode, and now in Loop Cloud I can audition. Yes, so I like this one here, drum loop number 6. So let's drag that into Logic. And this is 86 BPM. So let's apply project tempo. I always like to have a look at the different options for the time compression that Logic uses. So by default it's using polyphonic, but for rhythmic sounds like drums I usually choose rhythmic. Sometimes speed effects, because then it would slow it down or speed it up based on the tempo, and that can be quite nice sometimes. Nice, so let's loop those drums. I will also send those to the drum bus. Let's put a little bit of bass in there. Okay, let's go with one of these Logic bass patches, and we'll try the Dark Soul. Let's quantize that. A bit out there. And again, we shall loop it and convert to regions. So the track's starting to take shape now, and the next thing I'd want is some kind of melody. And for this I'm going to create a new instrument, but just for speed today I'm going to use one of my settings that I've set up myself within Logic, and we've got a patch here called Lo-Fi Vibes. So this uses a patch which was free. I'm not sure you can still get it now, but it's from John Mayer, or as it's now called, Somerville Sounds. Gentle vibes. But I've also put it through quite a lot of processing, so EQ, cymatics, origin. Got a bit of a tremulator going on, and some Valhalla vintage verb, just to make it sound a bit more lo-fi, basically. And just again, just to keep things moving really quickly, I'm going to copy the MIDI up there and just see if we can pick out some kind of melody, which I'm sure we can. And we probably don't want any of these bass notes in it. It's going to want to start with that note there. It's going to be similar to the bass guitar melody as well. Okay, again, some of this could go up an octave. So. And that note needs changing there. And could that go up an octave? No, the instrument doesn't go up that high. So, would that be better there? Okay, good. So we've got our melody line there. Again, we'll loop it. Great. I also like to add in some strings. And this is just Spitfire Audio Originals Intimate Strings. It's also got a kickstart on it. We have got a high pass filter on, quite high up really, around 2 kilohertz. Let's see what works with this. And we'll just tidy that up a little bit. Copying everything out, so we've got a large loop area to play with, and then we can take out bits that we don't need later. Right, so next I would like to add some vocals, and again for this I do prefer Loop Cloud. That's the subscription that I've got, but I'm going to search for something. Let's see what they've got for vocals. Here, if you set the key, so we're in G minor, so yeah, let's try that again. I've found a couple of vocal samples which I like, so we'll just bring those in. Just having reviewed some of these vocal samples, I feel like that one doesn't work as well as this one, so let's go with that. Let's just use the second half of it. So that's nice, we can use that one. And again, I've got a channel set in here which is called Vintage Vocals. So let's just try that. Plus, we're probably going to have it quite low in the mix. I might even turn down the gain on that clip. Okay, so away from the camera, I've made a few changes. I'll just run through what I've done. So first of all, for the melody, I've added a glock. And that just sits on top of the vibes, which are a bit lower. Okay, then I have added some more samples. So we've done a lot more to the percussion. We've got a noise sweep and a bar chime, which happens at various points. We've also got a cymbal sweep. and that is from, again, it's a Spitfire Originals plugin called Cinematic Percussion, and that's in the cymbals presets. Then we have a crash cymbal. I like the darker sounding crashes, so I chose that one, and also I've used some delay from a tape echo, and Valhalla Vintage Verb, just to kind of make the crash a lot longer. We've got a little bit of percussion that's going on when the drums aren't fully in. So this is in the intro. And then we have a vocal sample with some scratching. Just a couple of times this appears. And the vocal sample goes through some delay, some tape delay effects again. We also have some scratch vocals in the breakdown. So that just adds a little bit of atmospheric texture. So apart from that, I've done a little bit of mixing here and there, a little bit of automation that I've drawn in various places, mainly for the auto filter cutoff. So during the breakdown, the drums sort of filter out. And then filter back in. And various other things do that as well, like the vocal sample. And then in the second verse, the main sample is put through an effect which is the Tal Filter 2, and this is a free plugin. And it's actually bypassed until the second verse, and then it comes in, and well, we'll see what it sounds like. So it's just kind of automating the cutoff filter in this plugin in a rhythmic way, and as well as that, I've automated some more delay to come in, and that is a Valhalla Supermassive. Again, it's a free plugin, great little delay plugin, and yeah, it just adds a little bit of interest to that second verse, and that's what it's about really. It's just adding a little bit of interest in keeping the listener interested and adding bits of ear candy here and there. So that's it for this walkthrough. I hope you've found that useful, and you can see that a basic loop from my Lo-Fi Keys sample pack is a great starting point for which you can then build a lo-fi hip-hop track around. So I'll leave you with the finished track, or it's finished so far. I might go back and tweak it a little bit, but I'm going to leave it at that for now, and I'll play you the finished track. Enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough, and I hope it's inspired you to make some of your own lo-fi hip-hop tracks. Go and check out my new sample pack. It's available from tangerinesounds.com. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.